in high school, I was in a special needs class with Miss Manuel, and she got me into programs for co-op, which was like at Kelsey, like Glendale, and I would be in the kitchen helping prepping the food for lunch and dinner, and I would be right there giving them ready on time. My staff were there with me,
Mhm.
and we got everything ready on time.
That's great. I
I
could
loved it.
totally, yeah, I bet you did. I could totally see you in that environment because you also you like to be with people.
Yep.
And one thing that people need to know about Brandon is, yeah, he is looking for work right now. We're going to talk about some things he is also already doing. And so, especially because he's looking for work, we really want people to know, employers to know, you if you know somebody who's hiring, there is nothing that Brandon is not willing to try. And if Brandon is asked to help with something, he is your guy. Hello and welcome. My name is Erica Davidson, and I create content that helps and supports people in the workplace who have disabilities, people who are looking for work, or people who are already working and doing wonderful and amazing things. And today I get to be here with my great friend, Brandon Hall. Thank you so much, Brandon, for meeting with me. I'm so glad you're here today.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay, Brandon, I have to pause for 1 second because my puppy is at the door and then I'll be right back. But that's a great
Okay.
intro. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Right here. So I'm not going very
Okay.
and right into the questions. Here post. Okay. See, here she is.
Oh yes, Rosie Boozy.
Rosie Posey. You remember. You have such a good memory. You remember
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Okay. So she go over here now and lay down. Okay. Thank you, Brandon. That
Yep.
is the wonderful joy of um being able to like record and things not be live.
Yep.
Okay, so Brandon, you and I have known each other for about 6 years now, and
Yes.
we met when I was working for another cemetery gardening business, and you were one of, at that point, you were a volunteer,
Yes.
right? Um, and then when I came on, it just so happened that we were able to hire you, which was great because you had volunteered with them for how long?
13 years.
13 years. And now you've been a paid staff
Yep.
for about 6 years.
Yes.
So like you have been with them a total like literally of 19 years. Is that right?
Yes. Correct.
That's incredible. That's awesome. And I think it's fair to say, Brandon, that you're like that with nearly everything you do. Like you once you commit to something, you really you're committed. You're gonna
Yeah.
do it whether it's volunteer or get paid.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. You have a really good attitude like that. You're involved in a lot of things, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. Um, but before we do, Brandon, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your family. I think you live on your own, like those sorts of
Yeah.
things.
So right now, my real mom has cancer, and I've been going back and forth from my place to her place. And right now, she's done chemo. She's waiting for the results. And right now, I hope she can find out what the results are, and I hope this cancer goes away for the ninth time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I know that since I've known you, you've been dealing with this with your mom and really supporting her. You help her a lot. You're
Yeah.
always there for her. So I'm sure she is so grateful for that. And
Yeah.
I am really sorry to hear that. Glad that she's, of course, still with us and that you're still able to help her out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you're close with your dad too. Got some step
Yeah.
parents in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Brandon, do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have two sisters, Keelan and Chelsea. Chelsea works at the restaurant in Niagara Falls now, and she's really busy. And I've been busy with work, and she's been busy with work, and then we had no time to catch up with each other. But this Easter, we will with the whole family, and we will get together end of the beginning of April this week coming up.
That's great. I'm really glad to hear that. That's really nice. You haven't seen them for a while and you're going to be able to catch up with everybody.
Oh
Oh,
yes,
good for you. I bet you guys are all looking forward to that.
yes,
Yeah. And I know you also, I think you've mentioned an uncle a few times that you're really close
yeah,
with. So you have some extended family members that help
yes.
keep a close eye on you and keep you out of trouble, right?
Oh yes.
Good, good, good. That's really good. Family is really important. That kind of support system is so important. And I really believe that
Mhm.
that support system has been what has helped you in your life. Now you're, as you're saying, you live completely on your own. And
Yes.
I remember when we first met and you would talk to me about how you budget for your groceries, you make sure you have enough for your groceries and that you're going to get on the bus and you're going to go grocery shopping and you
Yeah.
cook for yourself. And often when we've talked and had a little chat on the phone, you're right in the middle of cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is cooking something you like to do?
Yes.
Yeah, you like it?
Yep.
That's good. That's good. You're already a step ahead of me. I don't like to cook. I will use a recipe on occasion, but thankfully, my husband is the good cook and he does all the cooking around here.
Oh yes.
That's good. Okay, now I did switch to my microphone, Brandon.
Mhm.
So it didn't change the volume for you at all, right?
No.
You're still able to hear me and all is well. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so now, okay. All right. Well, let's get into some of these questions a little bit more here. Um, can you tell me, Brandon, well, I guess, how old are you, first of all?
I'm 32 years old.
You're 32. Okay.
Yep.
And your disability, Brandon, is a developmental disability and a learning disability. And you were born with a developmental disability and your learning
Mm,
disability, right?
yes.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. So you've lived how you've lived your whole life. And so
Yes.
tell me what it was like for you being in school and growing up. What were those things like?
So in high school, I was in a special needs class with Miss Manuel, and she got me into programs for co-op, which was like at Kelsey's, like Glendale, and I would be in the kitchen helping prepping the food for lunch and dinner, and I would be right there giving them ready on time. My staff were there with me,
Mhm.
and we got everything ready on time.
That's great. I
I
could
loved it.
totally, yeah, I bet you did. I could totally see you in that environment. Can you tell me, Brandon, well, I guess, how old are you, first of all?
I'm 32 years old.
You're 32. Okay.
Yep.
And your disability, Brandon, is a developmental disability and a learning disability. And you were born with a developmental disability and your learning
Mm,
disability, right?
yes,
Yep.
correct.
Okay. So you've lived how you've lived your whole life. And so
Yes.
tell me what it was like for you being in school and growing up. What were those things like?
So in high school, I was in a special needs class with Miss Manuel, and she got me into programs for co-op, which was like at Kelsey's, like Glendale, and I would be in the kitchen helping prepping the food for lunch and dinner, and I would be right there giving them ready on time. My staff were there with me,
Mhm.
and we got everything ready on time.
That's great. I
I
could
loved it.
totally, yeah, I bet you did. I could totally see you in that environment because you also like to be with people
Yep.
and One thing that people need to know about Brandon is, yeah, he is looking for work right now. We're going to talk about some things he is also already doing. And so, especially because he's looking for work, we really want people to know, employers to know, you, if you know somebody who's hiring, there is nothing that Brandon is not willing to try. And if Brandon is asked to help with something, he is your guy. He will help for everything. I know that when we were working together, Brandon, you would often call me or text me and say, "Hey, Erica, can I help with this or that?" Like, I'm your guy if you want help. And I could count on Brandon. If we weren't able to have a staff in a certain section of watering, I could count on you, Brandon, to go and water that section. You would water all of the gardens and you would
Yep.
bring your crew with you. And you were so helpful with
Yep.
every single person.
Yes.
That's incredible. So and like you, and I want to say this too. So it's one thing to be helpful with every single person who may not have a disability. And Brandon
Yep.
was working with people who every single one of them had a disability and they all had different disabilities than Brandon, right? So
Yes.
many of them had brain injury, acquired brain injury, and
Yep.
with that came some physical disabilities.
Yes.
And you still helped them patiently, you
Yep.
guided them.
Yes.
It was an incredible help to our crew, and
Yes.
still is
Correct.
for that crew. So that's awesome.
Yep. Like Erica is our deadheader, and so is Carrie. Like Carrie's right on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Carrie goes right before I do. She cuts the dead stuff off. I get in, I water, I'm gone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
her and I stick together. Like we bolt together. Like Amber cannot find us.
because you're way
She
ahead
has
of the
a
game.
oh yeah. Like she called me on my phone. Look for me and Gary. We're way down at the other end.
Well, and the thing is, you already know where you're going, right? So you're
Yep.
leading the way, and then that
Yep.
person will follow you, the person who's weeding and deadheading, and you're doing the watering, and you're just leading
Yep.
the way. You're like, I can get this done.
Yep.
That's awesome. And you're also really helpful about talking, like telling the supervisor when a garden is struggling. You're going to let that
Yes.
supervisor know that, okay, this garden might need a flower, or, yeah, anything
Yeah.
that might be happening.
Yeah. Like Hall needed new flowers, and the small one needed more flowers, but the weed whackers were cutting them.
Yeah, that does happen. That does happen sometimes at the cemetery, unfortunately. The gardens get sliced when they're cleaning up the grounds, and then you may have to fix them up. Yeah.
Yeah, and with wood, we don't have flowers in it no more. We only have hostas.
Okay. All right. Well, and sometimes that make more sense if there's a lot of trees. I think that one has a lot of trees maybe around it, so there's a lot of
Yeah,
roots. And
yeah,
then yeah, and the hostas are so strong, and gosh,
yeah,
they're able to handle anything. So
yeah,
they'll do a lot better. Mhm. All right.
yeah,
So, now let's see. So school. Yeah. So we were, sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there. But when we're talking about school, it sounds like then you had a teacher in high school who really
yeah,
helped you get into your co-op.
yeah.
And before, so let's say even in elementary school or high school, were you ever bullied, Brandon, or were you just like really well liked, and people just took to you like they do now?
I was bullied by a guy named PJ. He threw me against the fence, and
Mm,
my head snapped back onto the fence. I
mm.
was on the ground, out cold, didn't know where I was, and my teacher comes up. She told everybody to back off. Then my other teacher, Mrs. Scaletta, came. They picked me up. They took me into the office. They had to call 911. Paramedics had to come get me, rush me to the hospital. My mom
I'm
and dad were
really,
called.
yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, Brandon. Were you going to say something else there? Sorry, you
Like
go ahead.
they had to call my dad at work when he was on the tow mower. So he had to stop where he was, got the tow mower, got his stuff, called me in the hospital. I'm like, Dad, I'm like, no more elementary, please, no more. I mean,
Mm, mm.
take me out. So
And is
they kept me home for 6 months
okay.
after I got injured.
What grade was that?
Grade 8.
Grade 8. Okay, so then you stayed home until you went into high
Yep,
school? Yeah.
yep,
Okay. Well, I'm really sorry to
yep,
hear that. And I really hope if people only knew, if people only knew, Brandon, even back then, like I didn't know you then, but I can only imagine knowing you now, how kind you are and helpful you are. And the people I talk to and have talked to for many, many years, just because they're different, um, you know, just because people are different. And unfortunately, I've probably been on both sides of the fence. As a young kid, I've been bullied and I've been the bully. And I'm not proud of it. I've had my moment and I'm really grateful. It didn't last very long. And I think I woke up pretty quickly to realizing how it affects people and that you, Brandon, would have been nothing but a great friend to the people who
yep,
were treating you like that, right?
yep.
So, well, I'm just grateful that you've lived through it. It's probably taught you some great things. What do you think you learned from, is there anything you learned, unfortunately, from having such a hard lesson like that?
Like in elementary, I had trouble with math, and if we got caught talking to the teacher, he would write our names up on the board and we had to do consequences.
Okay. Okay. So in school, like, did you learn though? So sorry. So you learned, yep, okay, there's consequences, right, for not
Yep,
following the rules in the class. But do you
yep.
think too that being bullied like that helps you have more compassion for other people?
Yes, I learned how to stick up for myself against other people and say, hey, this gotta stop.
Yeah, good. Good for you. Good for
Yep,
you, because that is not, it's not right. Nope, not
yep,
at all.
no,
Okay. So, and so we've talked a little bit about your personality of just being very helpful and
yep,
outgoing too.
yep.
And there are lots of people in the community who know who Brandon is and will gladly say hello and have a conversation. Brandon's really social. So if you ever see him around the Niagara region, make sure you say hello. He's a nice guy. Um,
Oh, yeah.
have you always been that way? Were you always the guy, even in the classroom, and like the just wanting to help other people?
Yes,
Yeah, you would be the guy that was always offering
yep,
to help help set stuff up.
yep.
Maybe if there was a school assembly, or maybe erase the chalkboards back in the day when we had chalkboards, right?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yep,
that's great.
yeah. Like my grade 8 teacher, Mr. Emery,
Mhm.
before school ended, under Mr. Emery, I mean, if you got any jobs, let me do it. I'm like, I'll clean the classroom.
That's
And he's
awesome.
like, no sport. He's like, I can count on you. Like, you're the only one who will step up to the plate.
Yeah, so true. You're
Yeah,
incredible, Brandon. Very helpful. Always
yeah.
willing to go the extra mile, and you're even willing to stay later than you need to,
Oh, yes.
and pretty close to the point of like your own detriment, where you would even be willing to say, well, I'll just miss this bus, I'll get the next bus, or maybe I'll
Yeah,
have to walk home, but that's okay. I'm gonna be here to help you guys.
yeah,
Yeah, you really like to help. That's incredible. Okay.
yeah.
And so you work now. Where do you work right now?
I work at Toys R Us,
Yeah.
and right now, laid off is there's no hours. But this week for Easter, they will actually pick back up
Okay.
for
They're
Easter.
expecting it. It'll pick up.
Yeah,
Okay. So you may get some hours there. And how long have you
yeah.
been at Toys R Us for?
3 years already.
I seriously, I remember when you told me that you get that job. I can't believe it's been 3 years already. Time flies
Yeah.
really fast.
Oh
You had
yes.
other jobs before that, right now at
Yep.
Toys R Us, and I'm there. You bring buggies in,
Yep.
right? And do
Yes.
you clean up the shelves too and that sort of thing? Like, do you stock merchandise?
Yes. Right for me open at 10.
Mhm,
We get together, we start stocking the shelf, putting new stuff on,
mhm.
and make sure it's nice and neat.
Very nice. And I'm sure that you would help customers bring heavier items outside
Yes.
to their trunks. And then do you also will probably do like some sweeping the floors and just some general cleaning duties?
Yes, correct. So
Great.
what me and my boss do, we get our big huge dry mops out.
Mhm.
She goes down one, I go down the next one. We meet in the middle. We put our stuff together. I sweep it up, put it in the garbage bin. Done.
That's awesome. That's great. Your team
Yep.
must love you there.
Oh yes, they do.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised
Yep.
at all. So, and now, of course, you're still looking for another job,
Yep.
and you just recently had an interview.
Yes.
So we're hoping and waiting, right?
Yes.
Yep, still waiting for the call on that one. And right now, you are receiving support to find your job,
Yep.
right? So I've
Yep.
talked a lot on here already, like in some of my 30 tips for primary caregivers of people with disabilities, and in very uh, initial content that I set up, I talked about the possibility and even the importance of having some support, whether it's
Yep.
your own family or whether it's an employment counselor. And so you're working with a job coach right
Yep.
now. Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Her name is
Yep. Name.
Carrie. You go
Yes.
ahead. You were going to say that.
Yes. So my coach is Carrie,
Yeah.
and my other coach is Lena, who actually helps me find jobs. And right now we have a student named Dana, who I actually have um, video calls like to help find jobs. And actually, she helped me with Roland. They actually called me the next morning for an interview. I like, yes, I love it. They asked me a question. I said yes. They will get back to you next week if you get the job.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yep.
That's great. And you're able to do all of your interviews by yourself, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're doing this and like you're interviewing with me right now. You're quite capable of handling yourself. And
Yep.
and Brandon right now is being on his best behavior. And he's able to do that. But Brandon is also really silly and a lot of fun. And
Oh
so
yes.
one thing that I love about you, Brandon, is you can control it, right?
Yep.
But you
Yes.
also know when you're like, okay, I can have some fun here. And that makes a
Yep.
workplace fun too, right?
Yes.
And you want to be able to make friends and appropriately have that kind of fun and still be able to
Yes.
get work done.
Yep. And right now, Toys R Us is looking for a vacuum sucker for me to drive around the parking lot to clean up the garbage.
Oh my gosh. You would love that,
Oh yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be
Like
really neat.
down the driveway, like by the ends, there's so much garbage and leaves that I get stuck up. Then at
Mm,
the back of our store, there's a big bin outside. I dump it in there, go back out, finish up, put the vacuum sucker away, and lock it up for the night,
mm, that
which
would
we'll
be
have an inside.
perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So they're looking for that now. And then
Yes.
obviously they're hoping to have that, I would say sooner than later, right? And
Yes.
then you'll have a whole other task to do.
Yes.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yep.
Okay. So I've got some other questions here. Actually, how often do you work at Toys R Us? I forgot to
Every
ask that.
Saturday. Every Saturday.
Every Saturday. Okay. And maybe, who knows, maybe you get this new machine and their hours pick up. Maybe you'll get some more.
Yep.
Mm,
And Toys R Us is looking for more people to work there.
All right. All right. Well, you heard it from Brandon yourself. Get your resume into Toys R Us for when their hours pick up. And again, if you're trying to hire, that if you're looking to hire, remember Brandon's available for all those other days. And maybe, I don't know for sure between him and Toys R Us, maybe there's some flexibility on the Saturday there as well, right?
Yep.
To see. Okay. So you're getting help with your job coaching and stuff. So, and
Yes.
what is, oh, actually, I want to know this. I forgot all about this. When you started at Toys R Us or any job that you've done, did you
Mhm.
have on the job coaching?
Yes.
Okay.
I had Carrie with me the first day,
All right.
and she brought me in to meet Kim, my boss.
Mhm.
And actually, Kim is really nice.
Mm,
She will be there to let you in, open the door, and get you going first thing in the morning.
that's really nice. That's so welcoming, right?
Yep.
Welcoming helps you feel comfortable.
Yep.
Sometimes you can walk into a place, especially on the first day, even within the first month or whatever, you can feel like, I really don't know what to do as soon as I walk in the door.
Yeah.
Where do I put my coat? Where do I put my lunch bag if I needed to bring one? Just where's
Yep.
all this? Where do I punch in?
Yep.
Where's the bathroom if I need it?
Yep. So at Toys R Us, we have a desktop in the back where we punch in the morning, and when we are finished, we punch out on the same machine, and we have our own lockers. So mine's on the bottom, on the second one, and I'm the first one in. Get my stuff in, lock it up, and back to the floor.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. You know everything you need to do. So
Yep.
on that first day, Carrie was there for you only for one day. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
And the purpose was probably just to help you feel comfortable, make sure you
No.
know where everything was.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead, Brandon. Were you going to say something?
Yes, and for I volunteer with Crime Stoppers of Niagara.
Mhm.
I help out the Ice Dogs game, the Roman Lions games, and we do the Jackfish game too in Welland. And we are desperately looking for more people to volunteer.
That's amazing. And you've been at Crime Stoppers for how long?
4 years now.
4 years. See, like the dedication that Brandon has is incredible. Like I said, once Brandon starts something, he won't stop until the season stops or somebody tells him he needs to stop, but he is going to be there. And that kind of thing, like that level of commitment is what employers need to know that somebody is going to show up and that somebody's even going to go the extra mile. Brandon is not that kind of guy that says, that's not my job, right? You're never
Yes.
going to say that. You're going to be like, I'll do it.
No. Yep.
Okay, so I'm
Correct.
gonna come back to yep, I'm gonna come back to Crime Stoppers in 1 minute because you mentioned that they're looking for more volunteers. So I want to talk about that. But even before I do that, I just want to go back to the whole job coaching idea.
Yep.
If those that are listening who maybe one aren't very familiar with job coaching, didn't even realize it was a possibility. So what Brandon is saying is that he's working with an employment agency who has a person who is able to be on the job with him. And agencies differ in whether or not they provide this in the first place, but two, they also differ in how long they'll provide it for. In
Yep.
Brandon's case, you can see he's very capable. He's had other jobs before. They've been long-term jobs. So just to go there for the first initial day, make sure he's all settled in, makes the most sense and doesn't need much more than that. But and you might be somebody who is either you yourself have a disability or you know somebody who does, that they would require more assistance. So that could possibly be 3 weeks to 3 months. I personally have job coached somebody for almost a full year, and but we always saw progression. And that's usually the case, if not always the case, with job coaching, is as long as there's progression, then the job coach can usually stay for as long as needed, as long as that person is growing in. and doing well. So good for you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me explain that a little bit more there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
So
through March of Dimes.
yeah, okay, yeah, yes, you're with March of Dimes.
Yeah.
And there are a couple other agencies in the area as well that would provide the same thing. And in your own area, so if you're not in the Niagara region, maybe you are in Ontario, like all across Canada, even in other countries, there will be different things. It's just a matter of doing your research and finding out that whether or not they exist and what exists and what services are available. So that's just Brandon's just talking about one area, but there could be so much more, right? In different
Mm-hmm.
areas. Okay, so that's great. You've been job coached, you're working there now for 3 years, but you've been with Crime Stoppers volunteering for 4 years. Might I add, all
Yes.
this stuff is going on Brandon's resume all the while, right? And so
Yes.
Crime Stoppers is looking for more volunteers. So tell us what a volunteer, like what do you do with Crime Stoppers exactly?
So what I do with Crime Stoppers is we go to the Ice Dogs game. We sell 50-50 tickets at the Ice Dogs game, and we are on the concourse right behind the Ice Dogs net. And we get there at 5:50. We set up. We get our stuff ready. We have our machines out. And if anybody wants to come and volunteer, I can actually help you get ready to come and volunteer. We will be having interviews for that this year coming up with my boss, Brooklyn, and my other boss, Ernie.
That's great. That
If
is
you
really good.
want, if people want, they can go on www.crimestoppersofniagara.ca. And if you want any more info, they call me on my phone.
All right. Well, we won't give out that phone number just yet, but we will send them to www.crimestoppersniagara.ca,
Yes.
and then they'll be able to connect, and they'll probably see the list of volunteer opportunities there
Yep.
and be able to go through that way. That way we're careful with your personal information. But I really appreciate that, Brandon. I think anybody else would appreciate that too. And so thank you for telling us that. I also want to go back to the fact that you mentioned that you are selling 50-50 tickets. So as we
Yes.
look at the skills that the things you are doing with
Yep.
Crime Stoppers, are you actually are you exchanging the money and the ticket? So if I walked up to that table, then I could say to you, could I have 10 tickets, please? And you are going to be the one to give me the tickets and take my money.
Yes.
And then you
So,
would give me change.
yes, we do actually take debit, credit, and cash. We take all three on the
Mhm.
machine. So if you want, it's 50 for 40, 20 for 20, 10 for 15, 4 for 10, or 1 for 5.
Wow. And do you operate the debit machines
Yes,
or do the other people?
I actually work one of the
Yeah.
machines.
Okay. So you're working the machines, you're taking cash, and then
Yep.
people are the draws. Do the draws happen that night?
So the draw after the second intermission happens, that's when we do the draws at the second intermission. And what happens is when that person wins, it goes up on the jumbotron, and my friend Rod will announce it, and then we'll come back to our table to get the prize.
That's great. So do
Yep.
you also give out gifts or the prizes, sorry, when people come to the table, if they come and I say, hey, I'm Erica, I won, you're going to be like, okay, let me get your prize?
Yep.
That must be really exciting for you to do for people, eh?
Yes, because we have prizes for adults
Mhm.
for Niagara Falls, and if they do win, they get tickets from us at our table. And once they get, they will go to Niagara Falls.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, so they get tickets to see games in Niagara Falls?
Yeah, there's attractions like the water park or anything that they like.
Oh,
That's what the tickets are there.
oh, are those the prizes they win? You mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow. That's very cool. That's very cool.
yeah.
Good for
Yep.
you. So you've been doing this for 4 years. Is there anything else that you do with Crime Stoppers?
I go to the golf tournament in Fawn Hill, and
Okay.
what I do, I just sit there and make sure that when the golf people come around to shoot balls, we take points.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yep.
all right. So you're keeping track of score
Yes.
with Crime Stoppers, and this is a
Yep.
fundraiser. Is this a
Yep.
fundraiser? Okay, this must be a fundraiser for Crime Stoppers. Is that right?
Yep. Yes. Correct.
Great. Okay, that's awesome.
Yes.
So you're really involved. And what I love is I would imagine, especially the hockey, I know you're
Yep.
always really excited to be able to go because you are so social. You
Yep.
love being around people. And I'm
Yes.
sure nearly everybody in that arena knows
Yep.
who Brandon Hall is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
They can vote for me. I have a black sweater that says Christ of the Niagara on, and we also do the River Lions game this week coming up in May.
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
we do the same thing 50-50 tickets. And
Mhm.
if anybody wants to come and get 50-50 tickets, I'm your go to guy.
You're the guy. Hey, you
Yep.
were just telling me that that's so good to know. And I love that. You are the go-to guy for many more things, for anything
Yep.
related to work or needing help and all that kind of stuff, just providing service to people.
Yep.
But you also just recently got a jacket
Yes.
that says something on it. What does it say?
It says coach on my junior ice dog jacket because I'm a volunteer with my junior ice dogs every Saturday. And we have a game against Cambridge on April the 6th from 5:30 till 8 o'clock at night. If you want to come out, it's free, and you can come and cheer on my junior ice dogs from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock at night.
I love it. I have put that on my calendar. So I'm hoping others will come out too. And that's at the Meridian Center
Yes,
in St. Catharines.
yes,
Okay. And that was, sorry, it was Junior Ice Dogs. You are a Junior Ice Dogs volunteer coach
yes, correct.
as well
Yep,
as volunteering with Crime Stoppers. This is a whole other deal.
yes, yep.
That's incredible. Is your jacket close by? Like, could you grab it?
Yeah, it's in my bedroom.
All right. I'll wait for you.
Okay.
I love it. So you just recently got this?
Yes, correct.
I remember you showing it to me the other night when we were on a call. And
Yep.
let me see where it says coach. I want to see it.
So it says right here on the side of my jacket, coach.
Oh, I love it. Okay. And then does it have an Ice Dogs logo on it or anything like that? Oh my gosh. Does that say Niagara?
Yep, now you're junior ice dogs.
Oh, that's great. You must have loved getting that.
Oh, yes.
How long have you been volunteering with them for?
This is my third year coming up.
Wow. And have you had other jackets before? You just recently got this one.
I just got this one.
That's good for you. Good for you.
Yep,
Okay. That's really exciting. So that's April 6th
yep,
from 5 until 8
yes, correct.
at the Meridian Center. It's free
Yep,
and it's a game. People can
yep,
go watch the game. Okay. And you'll be
yes,
there.
yep.
Okay.
I'll be on the bench.
All right. You'll be on the bench. Yeah. Cheering your
Yep,
team on, encouraging them, right? Giving them a word of advice like every good
yes,
coach does. Good for you.
yep.
Okay. So now, Brandon, with all the things that you've done, and work wise, especially,
Hmm.
what is the most helpful thing that a manager or coworkers do or have done that makes you succeed, helps you succeed in your job? What's the most helpful thing?
Now,
You,
at Toys R Us, my manager has come up to me and says, "Honey, you're doing a good job. I'll come out and help you get everything done. We'll clean up the whole yard, sweep it, and get all the garbages changed."
so
And
the,
one of my coworkers comes out she does the garbage for me. Yeah, the ones outside in the front, there's two. We have
Mhm.
to take 2 bags out, put clean one in, take them around, and make sure they don't be like
Okay.
sweep like fly in the air.
All right. All right. So it sounds like what's been very helpful to you is when your managers tell you what, like when you're doing a good job. You
Yep,
appreciate knowing that, which I think we all appreciate knowing that, right? We
yep,
all want to know, am I doing a good job? That's really important
yes, yep,
because if you're never told, and maybe you're doing an awful job, but you're never told what you can fix, well, then
yep,
you're never going to know. You're not going to be able to fix it.
yep,
So
correct.
knowing that you're doing a good job and offering to help when they see that things are getting behind or anything like that, and even
Yep,
surprising you by helping you, your one coworker is
yes,
going and doing. So you appreciate that,
yes,
the extra help, because you're going to be an
yep,
extra help too, right?
yes,
You're just as helpful.
yep.
Okay. So what do you like most about having a job in general, Brandon? What's the best part about having a job?
So having a job is like getting out of the house and working a lot, like because if I'm sitting at home with no job,
Mhm.
that won't help like get money or do anything for
Yeah,
fun. So that's why I'm out like working a lot.
yeah. Good for you.
And at Toys R Us, I'm there every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I get off at 12:15. I'm gone on the bus, get home. Next day, next Saturday, I go back in, do it again. Same
Mhm.
thing. Boom, done.
Yeah. Yeah, you're always on the go. You like to go and do all kinds of things because even on the days that you're
Yeah,
not working, you still go and do, like I say, all kinds of different things, whether you're visiting family or you're
yeah,
participating in some of the programs you belong to or
yeah,
you're volunteering, but you are always getting up and getting out of the house.
yes,
And that's just, and that takes a lot of organizing, scheduling.
yeah,
You, especially because you're also riding the bus, you have to know, okay, if I need to get to so and so at a certain time, I need to be on the bus at this time to get there. And
yeah,
if there's anything I can say about you, Brandon, you're more likely to show up early. You
yes.
won't let yourself be late. You don't like to be late.
No, no.
No, no, no.
Like what I do, I get on the early bus at 8:30,
Mhm.
and the bus gets me at work by 8:51. I get in at 8:56. I'm right on time. I get myself into my locker, get my vest on, my jacket on, my hat, my scarf on, I'm out the door.
Yeah, you're ready to work. Good for you.
Oh yeah,
That's really
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
so, like, no one needs to tell you twice, right?
no, no.
You're on it.
And
Mhm,
this year,
mhm.
I'm actually gonna help Carrie take other volunteers like out on the Niagara Regional Transit bus to Niagara Falls this week coming up.
That's great. To help them like learn
Yes,
how to use the bus system?
yes,
Oh my gosh, I'm not surprised. You're perfect for that.
yeah, and we'll be coming by your place this week.
I would love that. I would love that. Oh my gosh. You guys will have to let me know if you're getting off the bus somewhere in Niagara Falls. I'll come and meet you there just to say hello.
There'll
That's
be me, Gary, and Christina,
all right. That's awesome. Good for you. Okay.
and Dan will be on the bus too with us.
Teaching them how to use it?
Yep,
Or like just you're all sort of practicing together.
yep,
All right. That would be great. Okay. So I love your answer about, what you love most about having a job. It helps you get
yep,
out and you feel like you're
yes,
contributing to your own life. You're saying, look, I want to have money so I can also socialize more.
yep,
Otherwise, I'm just paying my bills and I want to do more than that. I don't want to just pay my bills. I want to go out and have fun with people.
yep,
Right? Good for you.
yes,
I'm really happy for you.
yep,
And so this has been great, Brandon. I have really appreciated learning all the stuff that you do, all the stuff that you have done. And now
yep,
I want to ask you if somebody else were wanting to look for a job and maybe they're afraid to either
yep,
start job searching or they're afraid to, even when they find that job, to show up on that first day, like you were saying,
Hmm.
right? The first day, it was helpful to
Yeah.
have somebody. But what would you
Yeah.
tell somebody who was afraid to look for work and or go to their job?
So if they are looking for a job, they can actually go on Indeed.ca to look for jobs.
Okay.
And there is like jobs in St. Catherine that are looking for part timers. And if they want part time jobs, that's where you can go to get
Mm-hmm.
jobs on Indeed.ca.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you need any help, you can ask me or people from March of Dimes, which will
Mhm.
be Christina, Carrie, or Nina.
That's awesome. That's really great. You're absolutely right. I love that
Yeah,
you're saying, okay, so here's a resource for you, right? Indeed, you
yeah,
can go ahead, use that. There's ways to find jobs.
yeah,
And if you're afraid, you could ask for help, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
so perhaps the staff at March of Dimes will help you overcome those fears. You could talk with them about it.
yes.
Yeah. You're not really afraid of very much, are you, Brandon?
No, no.
No. No. But if I come to you and I said, Brandon, like, is there anything else that you would say if I came and said, Brandon, I am really scared. I don't want to go do this interview. I don't want to start looking for a job. I don't want to, even though I'm working with March of Dimes and they're trying to help me. I don't want to, Brandon.
Hmm.
I'm really afraid. What would you say to me?
And then don't be afraid. I
Yeah.
mean, there's help out there. If you need help, that's what the staff are there for.
Awesome. I love that. Go and keep asking for help, right?
Yes.
This has been great. Great. Is there
Yep.
anything else before we end our time together? Is there anything else that you would like to say about job searching or working, anything like that?
Actually, with Crime Stoppers, we are in the parade every month, and we'll be back in the parade for Great White this year, coming up in September.
Oh,
And I will be with my Crime Stoppers in the car. And if you want to come out to the parade for Great White, please go online and follow the detours that the roads will be closed and you'll have to like park your car in the
mm,
garage and get a shuttle bus to your destination.
yep. Good point. That's really great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are always in the parade. And I remember, I think you called me when you were in one
Yes.
of the last parades. You were in the car with your
Yep.
Crime Stopper group, and you were
Yep.
saying, guess where I am, Erica? I'm in the parade.
Yep.
That was so cool. So cool. I
Yep.
love that. Yeah, that's great. You
Yes.
love that sort of stuff, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, there's lots of people, lots of energy, lots of fun.
Yes.
Good for you. Brandon, I'm
Yep.
so glad that you took the time to chat with me today about you and your time job searching and working and all
Yep.
the things that have gone on in your life and are still going on in your life. I really, really appreciate that. I'm really glad that you're my friend. Brandon and I
Yep.
talk to each other often. It's one thing about Brandon, he is a really good friend. He will call
Hmm.
and check up on you and say hello and has a
Yep.
tendency to make you feel real special. So
Yep.
I appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So if you enjoyed this interview with Brandon and you find that this content is helpful, maybe you're somebody who has a disability and is looking for work. Maybe you're currently working and maybe you're feeling a little discouraged in that job and you're not really sure what to do. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because I provide content all the time. I'm aiming to get a different interview up on a weekly basis every Monday morning with somebody just like Brandon and other disabilities. So gosh, I've already met with somebody who is on the spectrum. We've met with somebody who has an acquired brain injury. I also met with somebody who has somebody else who has an acquired brain injury as well. So I've got
Hmm.
two people who have an acquired brain injury. And now we've met with Brandon, who has been so kind as to talk with us about having a developmental disability and a learning disability. And even in spite of those things, still doing so well in the workplace. So make
Yeah.
sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we upload new content. And I look forward to seeing you. Also, remember that these videos, this channel is brought to you by Plots of Love, a cemetery gardening service helping people honor their loved ones who are laid to rest in the Niagara region. And it is our goal and our aim to hire people with disabilities. We really want to have Brandon come and work with us as well as all the others
Yeah.
we've already spoken to. So we
Yeah.
thank you and we look forward to seeing you again next time. I really look forward to being here. And you know what, Brandon, we're going to catch up with you too.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All
Awesome.
right.
Okay. And take care, everybody.